Hey, what's going on, guys? Today's November 2016. I'm going to be going over some trade ideas for this week. So let's get into it. For those of you guys that don't follow me, it's at Iceman Trading on Twitter. Let's get into some of the trade ideas for this week. So I've been looking at ions making a nice rush up here, obviously on the strength of biotech. The indicators are getting a little bit hot up at the top here. I'm seeing some buyers that are slowing down. So I'm thinking we get one more push off of this nice little candle over here. I'm thinking if we get one more nice push up to this area here, right about 46, and then I'd be looking for some sort of a double topping up in this area, and then we could try to play it for the short side. So that's what I'm looking for in ions, trying to see if we get one more push. Obviously, the chart came over this region already, so it has some support from this range. As long as it doesn't break that support, obviously, to the downside, we'd be looking for that bounce off of this area, push it up to this area here, and try to see right up at that 46 range if we can get the short on this one. The next on the list is actually, I'm looking at Tsla for this week as for a possible play here. We did print. Let's try to bring this in a little bit. Oh, the reason why I have it on the 12-month is because I needed to show where that bottom was over here, and the fact that the chart tried to reclaim it over here into Friday's session. So let's try to close in the time frame a little bit. Now we can try to see what we can work off of. So off of that Pearson pattern right down at the bottom over here, then I would like to see some continuation to the downsides. The indicators are kind of flattening here. I got the MACD flattening out. Stochastics are fine. But I would ultimately like to see this downtrend over here being broken out to the upside. So I think if we can get Tsla to pull back down just a little bit here, right into about 50% over here, right into about 186.75, somewhere around there. I'd like to try to see if we test it for a long, and if we can get the chart to start making its way back up into the 190s. The next on the list is Weight Watchers. I'm just looking at the chart here based on the fact that we've had some nice aggressive candles coming up. We do have a nice bullish harami over here, but there is a lot of resistance up in the 1250 range. So I'd say at this point either wait for the pullback to this 1150 range to play it, or wait for the 1250 range to break out completely, and then the chart should be able to see up into this resistance over here, which is close up to the $14 range. Next on the list is Qure. You know that this is one of my favorites as far as when the chart starts playing. I'm all about playing this chart when it's down into ranges that seem like they're trying to hold for some support. So what we have going on here is we do have a nice area here that the chart is working its way up to. It doesn't seem like it likes to break through this low 8s recently. Not hold it at least, right? So this is a breakout range here. If the chart can close over this 824 range, I'd like to see some support here. Being that we do have stochastics being a little hot, and we do have lessening buyers as the chart's moving up, I would expect it to come up to this range and maybe pull back down. But if we get into the $7.50 range, right into about here, we can get into that range and then try to reclaim this range over here, I would look for a nice upside move and possible a test all the way up to that close to $10 range up to the top there. DY. Now, the chart has had quite a nice aggressive move off of this gap fill down here, right down into the low 70s, all the way up to now the high 80s. So I would be looking for a little bit more push on this chart. Nice strong candle here. We had buyers basically from the get-go right into the close. I think if we can see DY give one more push right up into this 88.50 range, I would like to see right up to this top here, $88.50 to $89 range. We're gonna have some resistance here, some support here. Little resistance into this range, so I'm looking at if it can come up into this $88, $89 range, I'd be looking for some top in on it and possibly try to bring it down on a couple days swing short. Next on the list is Yelp. Now we've had a nice little upside move on it, a decent retrace. Chart printed a hammer right down at the bottom here. Now that it's consolidated a little bit, I'm going to see if we can try to get some support into from this range over here, and if we can try to make another move to the upside and try to take out this 38.85 peak right into this range here. So what I'd be looking for is, obviously I need the chart to hold an area. So I'd be looking for this chart to hold right into this range, and if we could even print a few dojis over here and start making our way back up, then I'd be looking for a target somewhere close to this range over here. If the chart was to break out that range, obviously it would be breaking out of a nice little inverted head and shoulder pattern, and then I'd be looking for a bigger upside move on it. Next on the trade is MCK. Now this one had a big downside move. It's retraced quite a bit of it. Right up at the top here, what we're looking at is we're actually seeing some kind of hesitation as far as where the buyers are, and we're starting to see some sellers that are stepping in. So I'd be looking at this 150 range on MCK here for a decent short. And I've played it quite a bit of times during the last few sessions, and the chart has a lot of range when it moves. So what I'd want to do is I want to be careful with it, but I also want to catch a really nice swing short on this one. So I'm looking into this 150 range again. If it comes up into this range and gets rejected, I'm all about shorting it. If I see the chart start working and obviously I don't get the 150, then I'm gonna chase it if it breaks the 13 EMA here on the daily chart. Next on the list is Ren. Now this was a big all-time trade-in favorite here for the last obviously couple months. The chart does have a lot of range to it, but I feel like we're finally starting to see some real sellers here. Obviously we're looking at some weakness in the energy sector, in the crude oil sector right there. So you know, you are going to see something like Ren come down. But I'm feeling like the chart wants to break, and so I'm gonna play this one where the chart closed at 25.50. If it pushes back up to 27 and cannot break out of that $27 area right into this range over here, if it cannot break out of this range over here, I'm gonna be looking to take a short on it and see if it gets rejected and comes back down. Now I'll also be playing an uptrend over here. So if the chart was to break that uptrend to the downside, then I could add more into the short and see if we can finally bring it down to about this $22 level. Right at that $22 level though, it's the 50 EMA on the monthly chart, so keep an eye on that range. It's right now probably about 22, 25, somewhere on there. And if it comes down to that range, you got to look at that $22.25 range for some sort of a support on the monthly chart. But for right now, I'd be looking for a pop to the 27 range and then see if we get a rejection there for a short. Okay, so this is interesting because I never really bring up any sort of pig trades into my videos, but we have dries that had a ridiculous move in the last couple sessions, and Tops is obviously a shipper here. The thing that I am interested in is that the chart is it's an 813 crossover here, and we could, you know, that's one of that's my go-to strategy, and we could possibly be looking at an inverted head and shoulder here. So if you can have this chart hold this $2.50 range right here, then I would like to see if it can actually have some potential to have an upside move. So if it holds the 250 range over here and has a day when it can close over $3, then I would like to see if it has any continuation. So if it gets down to 250, I may pick up a little bit and give it a chance to see if it can close over 3. If the chart can close over 3, I'd just be holding it for one of those pig trades. But again, it's a total pig trade, nothing else. Nothing more, nothing less here. And the last one on this week's list is John Deere. Chart's been nice and strong ever since obviously this huge upside move. Chart pulled back to the entire thing, but it's had a nice, beautiful flag as it moves up here. Nice bullish engulfing on Friday's session. I think the chart has some room to the upside still. I'd like to play it more so on a short swing, on any small pullback to this $90 range, and then see if we can get it up to the mid to upper 90s on DE. So those are the trades for this week. Again, if you don't follow me on Twitter, it's at Iceman Trading, and there you'd find a lot of information about what we're up to and what we're doing. And you also can email me at barrymohan81 at gmail.com for any information on Iceman Trading Academy. Have a great week, guys. Take care.